it's Jona, and I am so excited because High School Musical, the series, is finally back on our screens. I don't know if it's been a year. I think it's been close to a year, but it feels like a lot longer. Season 2 definitely feels very far away in my mind. This is truly one of my favorite shows of all time, and I can't wait to do weekly reviews, recaps. I guess they're more like reviews. I'm just gonna be running through my thoughts on the episode. I took notes as I watched it, which was kind of distracting, but also very well worth it because I didn't want to miss anything. I do quickly want to say thank you for all of the support with my video with Joe Serafini. Everybody was so nice. It made me feel so good, and I just thank you. I'm so grateful that I had a chance to chat with him. He was so incredibly sweet. I love Joe, I love Seb, and it was just honestly such an honor. Another thing I want to mention is a couple of callbacks to my season 2 finale season recap. Well, actually, my first season recap as well. I said that they should do Camp Rock. What musical do you want them to do next? Last time I said Camp Rock. And like, actually, I'm still thinking that.
What's that thing they do when they walk in and they're like, Camp Rock! Camp Rock!
Camp Rock! Camp Rock! Camp Rock! I said that in my first season recap and in the second season recap, and here we are, and there's going to be Camp Rock songs sprinkled in. We already got a little taste of it. I also manifested them doing Frozen, as I mentioned in my season 2 recap. Matt's live interview, was it yesterday? And he was like, I really want us to do Frozen because I think it would be hilarious if EJ played Olaf, and I was like, honestly, just for that, I want it. And I must be on another level. My words have incredible power because I predicted Julia Lester as Little Red Riding Hood. That's, what can I say? I don't know my own strength. Oh my gosh, it's the woods. Ashlyn would be red. My best friend Elise was also in my season 2 recap, and she cursed us. When I asked her who she wanted to see more of in this third season, she said Seb. Which character do you hope to see more of in the next season?
Maybe Seb. Where's his little farm boy story?
Yeah, no, I do want to see.
Maybe over the summer he'll just be working on the farm all summer. And it'll just be Seb's adventures in the farm.
And we definitely didn't get that. I said I wanted more EJ, and Tim Federle said, yes, I'll allow it. Anyway, let's get into season 3, episode 1. I loved the recap at the beginning with Ricky, and at the end when he thought he made up Love's an Open Door. So good. I know it's like a little bit cheesy, but that edge between like really good and really cheesy is what I love about this show. So right off the bat, just that little joke was such a great start. Another moment that I really loved at the beginning was when they were about to mention Lily's name. I think it was Ashlyn. She was like, Ricky is with, and then EJ just blares on the horn and it's like, she shall not be named. That was really funny, and I loved that we acknowledged how terrible Lily is. That being said, I do think Lily got worse, but we'll get to that. Immediately, I noticed that this season is brighter and lighter, not only in the content and within the characters and the dynamics, but also just like visually. What was up with season 2? It was so dark, and people were just deeply unhappy. I mean, Ricky and Nene, so deeply unhappy. Gina was pretty unhappy, and this feels like a fresh start and a breath of fresh air. What happened to me? The What Time Is It and Start the Party mashup, that would have blown my mind like 10 years ago. If you had told me back when Camp Rock had come out that they were going to combine Camp Rock and High School Musical, my mind simply would have been blown. It still kind of is, actually. What's the one critique I have about this mashup? It was too short. I feel like it came and it went in like 30 seconds. I don't know, how long is it in the episode? It was very short. But it was very fun and I liked it a lot. I'm going to mention Carlos' lines 10,000 times in this because he was on fire. Frankie Rodriguez and Dara Renee were the standouts by far in this episode for me. They were so funny and on top of their game. Carlos saying, I feel naked without my angst was just... I love that the people at the camp called EJ Rocket Man. That was just like a funny little thing that I would never have expected. I always forget that EJ stands for something. Like, I always forget that. Because to me, he's just EJ. Like, it doesn't need to stand for something. That is his name. And apparently, his real name is Eric James, which I hate. He's still just EJ to me. What is Eric James? It's like the most buttoned up, annoying name. Like, no offense to whoever came up with it, but like, I don't accept. Also, while we're talking about EJ, can we just take a moment to remember that EJ's only solo, Matt Cornett's only solo, is still A Billion Sorries. And if that isn't fixed in this season, then I will be marching right to Tim and screaming in his face. Just kidding, I'm not gonna scream. But I will say, Tim, please, give Matt a solo! And Sophia Wiley as Gina, she is just shining. She is radiating, she is beautiful, her character is finally happy and having her moment, and that's just really wonderful to see. It's so exciting and I can't wait to see what else is in store for Gina. So it was all fun and games at the camp. I was loving everything that was happening, and then we saw Ricky and Lily and I was like, why are we doing this? Ricky mentioned Antoine. Where is he? Where is Andrew Barth Feldman? I don't understand why we got rid of Seb and Big Red, and also Antoine, but mostly Seb and Big Red. What was the need? Like, I understand that Big Red is working at Slices and Seb's on the farm, but honestly, what was the need? Like I said, somehow, I don't know how she did it, but Lily got worse. She's just terrible. And something about Lily and Ricky just seemed really rushed and really forced. I'm thinking maybe there should have and could have been like a little montage maybe of their time together, or just like a couple clips of her bossing him around, calling him Richie, that sort of thing, just to give us a little context. I know we saw him call her and stuff, but still it just felt so like, how did we get here? How long have we been here? Why are we here? Thank goodness though that they called back to the harness, because that was bothering me for a year, however long it's been. I couldn't believe that they just left that after the finale. It felt like such a loose end. And I loved seeing Ricky stand up to Lily and leave. I cheered, I was so thankful. Honestly, because what was that? I don't know what their dynamic was. It was weird. And that was a really strong moment for Ricky, which I really like to see. And then seeing him sing Finally Free and just like the carefreeness of that whole thing, and his really cool car. That car was amazing. Also just like made me feel like it was, what's the word, cathartic for Joshua to sing about finally being free. It was just a really nice moment. You know what really upset me though? Knowing that Miss Jen is not with Mr. Mazzara. Mr. Mazzara, there's another person we got rid of. What are we doing? Oh, I was rooting for them so much, and maybe there's still hope in season 4, but that really crushed me a little. It was such a quick, simple line, but it hurt me so deep. Nini's storyline, well, like, Nini isn't Nini to me anymore. It's very hard for me to detach Olivia and Nini. Like, I just feel like I'm watching Olivia. And it probably doesn't help that the storyline is very similar to, like, Olivia's rise to stardom. It's just like really difficult for me to be like, that's Nini, not Olivia. And I love Olivia. I think she's very talented and I have loved seeing her on this show, but I don't think that she was needed this season. Every time they cut back to her, to Nini and Miss Jen, I kept thinking, can we go back to the camp, please? I want to see the camp. That's where everyone is, that's where the main story is, and that's what I'm interested in. And maybe that's controversial to say and people in the comments might get really mad, but it has nothing to do with like my love for Olivia. Like, I still love her. It felt like a distraction, maybe? The camp stuff was just so good. Like I said, Carlos and Courtney were just like nailing it. And the dynamic with EJ and Gina, just everything about it was so good that I wanted to stay there. I wanted to stay in that world. Maybe that's why I was also so annoyed with Lily and Ricky, because I just wanted to get back to camp. Once again, Carlos is me if I ever went to camp. I did go to a camp once, and I spent about 5 minutes there. I had to have my mom take me home. I am not even joking. I walked in and I said no. Carlos, when he was in the cabin, in the one line where he was like, constant danger, and I live here. I felt that in my soul. The camp itself reminds me very much of Camp Rock 2. I don't think they're the same place. I'm pretty sure they're not the same place, but they look very similar and have a very similar vibe, which is really cool. Can I please take a moment here to just put out a PSA? We all saw Gina get hit with like a mosquito thing, and she laughed it off, she brushed it off. But let's take a moment to appreciate bug spray and the importance of bug spray. Bug repellent. If you are going outside, you need it, and you should put it on. Why am I telling you this? Because I got the weirdest bug bite. My doctor confirmed that it was a spider bite, but it was not just any old spider bite. It was a spider bite, okay? There was like the little bite part, right? And then like a circle around it of just like my regular skin, and then a giant bruise. Giant. Did I wear bug spray when I went outside? No. And that's what led me to that. So I just wanted to take Gina's little like mosquito thing and make it a teachable moment. Courtney and Carlos, their little conversation on the way to the amphitheater was so funny. I love them and they are my people. That is how I feel about the outdoors and summer camp and all of the things that are happening. The only reason I would ever show up to a summer camp is because of a secret celebrity. Especially if it's Corbin Bleu. This is really random, but why? Does anybody know why Frankie said Corbin Bleu? It was so funny, but I was sitting there for a solid 30 seconds just trying to process that. Oh, are we foreshadowing Ashlyn and Maddox? I feel like we are, and I am here for it. I love Big Red. I love Big Red and Ashlyn, but I guess if Big Red's gone, why not? The next note I have is just, Happy EJ is so cute. I love that for me. So Corbin is there and doing this like fake documentary, but why make it fake? I feel like it's an incredible opportunity to put a special on Disney Plus with like the behind the scenes footage that they're shooting for the Disney Plus documentary in the show. It would be super meta and super fun, even if it's just like a little short thing. I think that that's like, it's right there. If they don't do that, then what are they doing? On a related note, what have they been filming this entire time? Like, you know in Liv and Maddie, they revealed at the end that they were actually filming a French reality show? Who are the High School Musical characters talking to when they talk to the camera if they're not already filming something? I'm so confused, and maybe I'm thinking about it too much. In fact, I probably am. But like somebody said in a behind the scenes, oh, it's gonna be so different for our characters to have cameras in their faces. Haven't they had cameras in their faces for years now? Or a year in their time, years in our time? Like, what are we talking about? You know how Corbin couldn't direct and Dewey went off and all of that? This seems like a great opportunity to have Miss Jen incorporated rather than her stuff with Nene, which was like a distraction. She could have been the director. But then EJ wouldn't be the director and maybe we wouldn't get the drama that we're meant to get, but like, Miss Jen was right there. And that ending when EJ said, nothing is going to ruin our perfect summer. Nothing. And Gina said, who said anybody would? Anybody. Nothing. Anybody. That was a very telling moment. We were 100% getting a love triangle. Ricky came in right on cue. And that kind of makes me sad because I love EJ and Gina together. I love seeing them happy. It's so wonderful. But also I do really like Ricky and Gina's dynamic. I'm like Dara. I will not commit to a ship. I like everyone and I just want people to be happy. Before I close the video, I have to talk a little bit about the premiere because it was so much content coming at my brain fast. My brain was on fire. There were little SpongeBobs running around in chaos. Everybody looked amazing, glamorous. I know I've said it a million times, but Dara and Frankie were the best dressed and once again stars. Sophia looked beautiful too. I do feel a little bit bad because I do think the entire evening became about Joshua and Olivia. Definitely on social media. Maybe it was different if you were there. Like, it probably wasn't all about them. It was probably exciting to see them there for a minute and then everybody moved on, but for social media purposes, that was all it was about. And I don't know, I just feel like that would be a little hard if you were another member in the cast, maybe? I don't know. They're all so sweet, they probably don't care. But I think I would feel bad. Maybe I'm just not as good as them. But I would be like, oh, like, this was my night. I don't know, I felt a little bad. But everyone's reactions to seeing Olivia, they clearly had no idea she was coming, and Joe and Frankie's reactions especially, oh, and Matt's, were so sweet and so wonderful to see. And it does make my heart happy to see hearts healing and people healing. So overall, it was very positive and very fun to see. And if there is a season 4 premiere thing happening, which there probably will be, I hope that I am there. Manifesting! My predictions for the Frozen casting have definitely become outdated because I included Big Red and Seb and maybe some other characters like Lily. So maybe I should do that again before they cast it, which I think might be next week, so that's not a lot of time. We'll see, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you thought about episode 1 of season 3 and what you're looking forward to. I love you all, stay beautiful you people, bye!